Hi mathematicians. We're going to continue talking about triangles and extend our learning from yesterday. Yesterday you took a look at triangles and you began to classify them. We know that triangles are three-sided shapes. However, we can classify triangles simply by looking at the sides of the triangle as well as the angles of the triangle. So we're going to continue to talk about the angles of a triangle. In Math Antics, the video that you watched yesterday, he had told us that in a triangle that is three-sided, that all of these angles that are on a triangle would equal 180 degrees. In the video, he showed that if you literally cut each of the angles, if we cut this angle off, if we cut this angle off, and if we cut this angle off, all of them would form a 180 degree straight line, which means that a triangle then is going to be worth 180 degrees. So how do we then go about finding the angles of triangles, especially if some of the angles are missing? So today we're going to be taking a look at how do we do that simply by looking at two angles and then determining that missing angle. So let me show you. So we're going to take a look at this triangle here, and I'm just kind of free-handing this triangle so that you can see it. Let's say that I have a triangle here, and this particular triangle looks to be a bit scaling. The sides are not quite all the same side, and it looks like I have an obtuse angle because this angle is, obtuse triangle because the angle is more than 90 degrees. Let's say that this angle is, let me bring those down a little bit. Let's say that this angle is 145 degrees. And we also know this angle, and this angle is 20 degrees. The only angle that we don't know is the angle right here, and I'm going to label that x. That's our variable. This variable simply means that we don't know the measurement of that angle, but we're going to find it out. The one thing I do know about triangles is that they equal 180 degrees. So having this information is going to be very helpful into going ahead and solving for x. So what I want to do is I want to see the angles that I already know, 145 and 20. I'm going to add those two angles together to find out how much measurement I have at that moment. So 145 plus 20 gives us 165. So these two angles together equal 165. I need to find angle x. Since triangles must equal 180 degrees, we're then going to take 180 degrees. We're going to subtract that by the two angles that we know, 145 and 20. I realize that those added up together are 165. So I'm going to subtract those two measurements. When I do so, I need to make sure I'm using basic subtraction rules. So if I need to borrow, please make sure that you do so. And we end up with 15. So angle x is worth 15 degrees. If we would simply add up 15 plus 45 plus 120, it should equal 180 degrees. Let's try another one. Let's say that our triangle looks like this. So this particular triangle is a right angle triangle, and I know that simply because it has a right angle there. As far as the sides, if this side and this side were exactly the same, showing by the tick marks, I would call it an isosceles triangle, meaning two sides are the same length. But we want to find out about that missing angle. So far, all we have is a 90-degree angle, and I know that simply because it has a box there for me. So I can simply go ahead and mark 90 degrees. It's already there. But let's say that I have already given you another degrees that I'm just going to give you that we already know, and this one is going to be 45 degrees. Again, we have two angles that we know that we can utilize to find out this missing angle. We'll call this missing angle A. So let's find missing angle A. We are going to take the two angles that we know, 90 plus 45. We're going to add those two together, and when we do, we get 135. Now we're still trying to find missing angle A, so we are going to now take 180, which is the entire degree of a triangle. We're going to take 180 degrees. We are going to subtract the total of these two angles, which is 135. And when we subtract, because we need to borrow, we get 45. So the angle A is worth 45 degrees. Let's try one more. So this angle may look like this. Okay. So with this particular angle or triangle, we know it equals 180 degrees. These are scaling because all of the sides are different lengths. Now we need to find the angles of this particular one, the triangle. So let's start by doing, let's find out where we want to put them. So I'm going to put this one at, let's see, it's not quite 90 degrees, so I'm going to put it at 87 degrees. And let's say this one is 15 degrees. So again, let's go ahead and see if we can find out what this missing angle is, and we will call it angle S. So to find this missing angle, we're going to take the two angles that we know, 87 plus 15, and when we add it, we get 102. To find angle S, we take the total measurement of the triangle, 180. We're going to subtract 102. And when we subtract, we get 78. So angle S is 78 degrees. For today's homework, you are going to be finding the missing angle of a triangle. Remember the steps in knowing that a triangle equals 180 degrees. And by doing so, you're going to find the missing angle, you're going to add up the angles that you know and then subtract that total or sum from 180. That will leave you with the missing angle. That should all, when added, would equal 180 degrees. Okay. All right. Good luck, friends.